It was a moment of startling clarity, a data point so stark it cut through the noise of press releases and promotional hype. This past weekend, as Caitlyn Clark stepped onto the court for a Team USA training camp in Raleigh, the entire sports media ecosystem was watching. The cameras were rolling, the social media teams were poised, and the league surely held its breath. This was the first real glimpse of the phenomenon in a national team setting, a test of her post-injury recovery, and a barometer for the fever pitch interest she commands. And for 3 days, a story played out in viewership numbers, a story of curiosity, attrition, and a chilling reality check. Day 1, a spike. The curious masses tuned in for a look. Day 2, a slide. The casual audience began to drift. Day 3, a collapse. The market spoke with brutal efficiency, revealing the true depth, or lack thereof, of this new audience. This wasn't just a ratings blip. It was a signal fire on the horizon, and it arrived at the worst possible time for the WNBA. Because while the league is still basking in the afterglow of its most consequential season in a generation, a season defined by record attendance, unprecedented media coverage, and a cultural conversation it hadn't sparked in decades, it is now staring down a precipice. The very momentum that 2024 built is fragile, and the architecture beneath it is showing cracks. In roughly 6 weeks, on January 6th, a hard deadline looms. It is the line in the sand for the league and its players to secure a new collective bargaining agreement. Failure to do so, or to agree on another extension, risks a full shutdown, a lockout that wouldn't just pause progress, it would actively dismantle it. As one analyst bluntly put it on air, maybe the end of the WNBA. Hyperbole? Perhaps. But the sentiment underscores a terrifying new calculus. For the first time, the league's existence isn't a given. Its survival is being openly questioned in boardrooms and on broadcasts, not as doom-mongering, but as a legitimate outcome of a high-stakes poker game where both sides believe the other will blink. This is the paradox of the modern WNBA. It is simultaneously stronger than it has ever been, powered by a generational talent in Caitlyn Clark, and more vulnerable than it has been in years, held hostage by its own unresolved business. To understand how we got here and where this might be going, we need to follow 3 converging threads: the cold, hard data of fan engagement, the high-wire act of labor negotiations, and the meticulous, unflinching evaluation of a star who is both the league's greatest asset and its greatest litmus test. The narrative around Caitlyn Clark's impact has often been told in superlatives: record-breaking ratings for the NCAA tournament, sold-out arenas on the road, jersey sales that dwarfed her peers. It created an aura of inevitable, exponential growth. The Team USA camp served as a necessary control group, isolating the Clark effect from the packaged product of a WNBA game. The environment was pure basketball. Practices, scrimmages, drills, no rivalries, no uniforms, no stakes beyond internal competition and Olympic roster positioning. And the audience response was a perfect case study in the life cycle of curiosity-driven fame. Day 1, the spectacle. People tuned in to see the logo threes, to see the no-look passes, to see how this college legend, now Rookie of the Year, stacked up against the established veterans of the national team. The number was a testament to her drawing power as an individual. Day 2, the normalization. The novelty began to wear off. The highlights from day 1 had already circulated. What remained was the grind of practice. The audience that was there for the moment had largely gotten its fix. The decline wasn't a failure. It was the natural shedding of the peripheral audience, the sports tourists. Day 3, the reality. The crash was the headline. It revealed that beneath the layer of curious onlookers, the core audience for pure, unadorned WNBA or women's basketball product, even starring its biggest name, is still a niche. It is passionate. It is growing. But it is not yet the broad-based, resilient fan base that can sustain a league through labor strife or off-court drama. This trajectory is a flashing warning light for the league's front office. It suggests that the 2024 boom was less about a fundamental, permanent expansion of the WNBA's base, and more about the gravitational pull of a singular star. As one commentator framed it, this is not sustainable growth. This is a fan base centered on one star, showing up when she plays and drifting away once the novelty fades. If the league's long-term health is built on the assumption that these new fans are now irrevocably WNBA fans, the camp data suggests that assumption is dangerously optimistic. The implications are profound. It means that any interruption in the product, like a lockout, isn't just a pause button, it's a reset button. The casual fans who tuned in for Caitlyn Clark in 2024, who might have started to recognize a few other names, will not wait. They will not mark their calendars for 2027. The cultural conversation moves fast. Momentum, once lost, is catastrophically difficult to regain. As the analysts starkly put it, a lockout does not just slow things down, it wipes out momentum. The WNBA's momentum right now is already slipping. Into this volatile environment steps the cold, hard machinery of professional sports labor negotiations. The current CBA is ticking toward its expiration. With January 6th as the critical deadline, the reports are not encouraging. The players have already turned down the owner's latest offer. The core issues are the classic fault lines of sports economics: revenue sharing, salary minimums and maximums, travel standards, maternity benefits, but viewed through the unique lens of a league that has historically lost money, but is now experiencing a potential inflection point. The owner's reported offer is not insignificant. A leap from a current maximum base salary of $249,000 to a guaranteed $1 million by 2026, with potential to reach $1.3 million through revenue sharing, represents a monumental increase on paper. It's a signal that the league acknowledges the player's value and the new economic reality Clark and her 2024 draft class have helped usher in. But for the players, this moment is about more than just percentages. It's about claiming a permanent stake in the league's future. They have lived through the investment phase, the years of grind for modest pay. Now, with eyeballs finally on the product, they want to ensure that the financial structure reflects their role as the driving force. The push for a true revenue-sharing model, rather than a share of a predefined pool, is a push for partnership. It's a bet on themselves and on the league's continued growth. The owners, however, are facing their own calculus. While 2024 was a banner year, the league's profitability and the financial viability of its individual franchises is a complex picture. They are being asked to make massive, long-term financial commitments based on a single season of unprecedented growth that the Team USA camp data suggests may be precarious. They are looking at the failed, unrivaled league, which was touted as a potential off-season competitor or safety net, but failed to capture an audience, and seeing evidence that the market for women's basketball, while growing, is not yet bottomless. This is where the chilling speculation enters the conversation. The analyst's quote hangs in the air. Maybe the end of the WNBA. He's not just talking about a bargaining tactic. He's articulating a scenario where the NBA, which ultimately underwrites the WNBA's existence, looks at the numbers, looks at the players' demands, looks at the unstable fan engagement metrics, and makes a cold business decision. As he said, Adam Silver is thinking about that, and the players are thinking about that. The threat is no longer just a lost season. It's the unthinkable, folding the league. The players are betting that the owners won't dare to shutter a league finally on the upswing. The owners may be betting that the players, aware of the lack of other high-paying professional options, will ultimately cave. It's a game of chicken where the road ends at a cliff. Amidst these macroeconomic tremors, the focus in Raleigh was microscopic: the health, mechanics, and fit of Caitlyn Clark. For the first time, a reporter, Chloe Peterson of the Indy Star, was granted extended access to observe Clark's integration into Team USA. Her observations provided a nuanced, ground-level report that cuts through both the hype and the hate. The first and most important finding: the physical tools are intact. The eardrum injury that sidelined her during the playoffs did not diminish her signature skill. The shot is still there, the report confirms. The deep gravitational pull of her logo three-point range remains her offensive cornerstone. Furthermore, her speed and her explosive first step, the engine that makes her shooting threat so deadly, are steadily returning. Physically, She is at or near 100%. The challenge, as it is for any athlete after a layoff, is timing and rhythm. Basketball at the elite level is a symphony of split-second decisions. Being half a beat off on a catch and shoot, on a drive and kick read, on the precise moment to reject a screen can turn an open shot into a contested one, a sure assist into a turnover. Clark is in the process of resyncing that internal metronome against the highest level of competition imaginable. This reintroduction also brought her weaknesses into sharper relief, particularly on defense. Matched up against a savvy, physical guard like Kelsey Plum, Clark's defensive limitations were tested. It wasn't a lack of effort, but rather the refined footwork, core strength, and instant processing that come with years of WNBA experience. These sessions are designed to expose, not protect. The tape from those matchups will be invaluable for both Clark and the Team USA coaching staff as a roadmap for her development. Perhaps the most fascinating glimpse of the future came not from a veteran testing her, but from a peer complimenting her. When Clark shared the floor with Paige Bueckers, the chemistry was palpable. Their styles didn't clash, they conversed. Clark's otherworldly range forces defenses to stretch to the parking lot, while Bueckers' surgical efficiency and elite mid-range game exploit the spaces that creates. Together, they manipulated the court, slowing the game to a controlled, intelligent pace. This was not about creating viral highlights. It was about demonstrating high-level basketball IQ and synergistic potential. Team USA is building for the 2028 Olympics, and they were observing how the two most talked about young stars in the game might fit together long-term. Off the court, another subtle detail spoke volumes. Team USA updated Clark's official bio and headshot, revealing a noticeably leaner physique compared to her rookie season build. This isn't a cause for concern. It's a return to baseline. The robust frame she carried through the 40-game WNBA gauntlet, plus a playoff run, was a testament to the sheer physical endurance required. It was a body built for survival. The current version is her natural playing weight, refined for peak performance rather than prolonged warfare. Her updated bio now reads like a legend. Single-season assist record, rookie scoring record, first rookie triple-double, rookie of the year, first team all, WNBA. Seeing it listed so clinically reinforces the sheer historic scale of her debut. She didn't just have a good rookie year. She authored one of the great individual seasons in league history. Yet, even here, a disconnect emerged. Peterson's deep dive, 2-hour interview breaking down her exclusive access garnered surprisingly low engagement. This stands in stark contrast to the millions of views a 30-second clip of Clark hitting a logo 3 will generate. The audience has delivered a clear message. We want the spectacle, not the substance. They will consume the product of her labor, the highlights, the drama, the results, but show far less appetite for the process, the analysis, the gritty work that goes into it. This is the difference between fandom and fascination, between building a legacy and chasing clout. Now, let's weave these threads together into the unsettling tapestry the WNBA now faces. The league is at a historic peak of visibility, almost entirely because of one player's ability to command attention. However, data indicates that attention is broad but shallow, more akin to a cultural moment than a cemented sports institution. At the very same time, the league must negotiate a new financial foundation with its players, a process fraught with the risk of a work stoppage that would instantly vaporize that shallow, attention-based momentum. Caitlyn Clark is healthy and evolving, but her development and the league's growth narrative require consistent, high-level competition. A lost season stunts that growth at a critical point in her career. The players are fighting for a fair share of a future they believe they are building, but they are doing so while standing on what the owners may see as an unstable revenue base, highlighted by the fickle camp viewership. The media ecosystem surrounding it all is schizophrenic, capable of generating tidal waves of engagement for controversy or breathtaking plays, but seemingly disinterested in the nuanced, long-form storytelling that builds deeper connections with athletes. This creates a feedback loop where drama is incentivized over durability. This is the WNBA's crossroads. Path 1. The deal. A CBA is signed, a compromise is reached, that gives players a significant raise and a stake in future growth, while keeping the league's business model viable for owners. The 2025 and 2026 seasons proceed uninterrupted. The league uses this stability to strategically convert the Caitlyn curious into fans of the Indiana Fever, then fans of league-wide rivalries, then fans of the sport itself. They build institutional strength around the star power. Path 2. The lockout. Negotiations fail. The January 6th deadline passes without a deal or a credible extension. The 2026 season is placed in serious doubt. News cycles shift from highlights to labor disputes. Casual fans forget. Sponsors get nervous. The incredible, hard-won momentum of 2024 dissipates into acrimony and silence. When the league returns, it is not continuing a story. It is starting a new one from a much weaker position, with a star who has lost a year of her prime and an audience that has moved on. The analyst's closing thought is the haunting question. Does the WNBA learn from this moment, or does it waste the biggest opportunity it has ever had? Caitlyn Clark has done her part. She has shattered records, filled arenas, and forced the sports world to watch. She has delivered the opportunity on a silver platter. What happens next is no longer about her jump shot or her passing vision. It is about the vision of the league's owners and the resolve of its players. It is about whether they can see beyond the immediate brinkmanship to the fragile, glittering potential on the other side. The numbers from Raleigh were not just ratings. They were a parable. Curiosity is a flash flood, powerful, dramatic, but quick to recede. Loyalty is a river slower to form, but it carves canyons and sustains life. The WNBA is now tasked with the hardest job in entertainment, turning a flood into a river. And the clock, loudly and unambiguously, is ticking.